Yeah, come on now. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important you do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a good message brought to you by the good folks at Earn Your Leisure and the good brother Ian Dunlap, the master investor. Do your own homework.
Please.
Or copy mine.
And my content is not to be copied, remixed, reused, repurposed. Just because we friends don't mean you can't do webinars on it. Please, I'm gonna let my lawyer do his lawyer thing. Otherwise, I don't want to cause Rashad any more headaches.
Oh yeah, let me speak on that. So any information that Ian gives you guys is for your own personal use, as far as to utilize it and make money, provide for your family. But it is not to be like repackaged and sold.
Diddy invented the remix, not you. Let it go.
Yeah. So let's not do like that. Let's not like do webinars where we're actually selling the information that he has coined. You can use the information for your own personal good, but don't just do the right thing in life. You just gotta do the right thing. And if you're not sure, this is what I learned. If you're not sure, ask. That's the golden rule in life. If you're not sure, ask, and don't do something until you get permission.
The answer is no.
So
you have it. Crystal ball, lifelines, anything.
All right, there you have it. Ian, the floor is yours.
No, let's get right to Q&A. I mean, not the Q&A, but the topic.
I'm about to say, yeah, you like,
damn,
show's over.
Show's over.
He's got a trench on. Where's he going after?
It's called Show Over.
What's in the Red Panda cup?
Had enough of it.
Pineapple juice and Ciroc.
I had enough of it. He said,
what's Ross drinking? Bumbo. We'll go to Q&A. I'm tired of y'all.
Let's get out of here early.
Skip the first 50 minutes.
Pineapple Ciroc on the right.
The only way.
Ally, don't worry.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Okay, so Yahoo has announced that Microsoft is the company has announced Microsoft as the company of the year.
Breaking news alert.
Big Microsoft.
Hey Ian, I think we were 12 months early on that.
Hey, I told you guys. Troy said of the year. I said of the decade. We were both right. Bada bing, bada boom. As they're going to tell you it's for tax incentives. What they're really not telling you is a lot of CEOs and executives are worried about this income hike next year. And this is why they're doing a lot of the selling off. I can't tell you the other reason, but for those of you already know. We're going to skip that. But in times of mass exodus, there are going to be a few companies that continue to print higher gains. That has been Microsoft and Apple. The great part is, as they built this empire, they don't have the antitrust issues that other companies have.
That's huge.
Which is amazing, which means they've grown at scale and won't get monopoly charges thrown at them, which gives them more room to grow. Investing is easy. Say it with me. 2 tech, 2 index. Apple and Microsoft are 2 of my favorites. If you have not bought Microsoft this year, I do not know why. Next year, they should be at 421.25. So those of you that are doing trades in that area, you can mark that area off as one to exit, but continue to buy Microsoft every month. I literally put in Stock Club today. Apple and Microsoft are the only companies that I'm comfortable with you guys dollar cost averaging. If it gets to 309.37, I will buy there. Long-term hold only and quit holding for the short term, because if you do a 2-year option and you live to 65, put in chat what percentage of your life that is. That 2-year call won't take care of you for a long period of time. 2009, Microsoft was at $14.87. The CEO has done a great job. It's at $326.19 now. It was at $349 a couple months ago. Hold on to this for dear life.
Yeah, it's interesting because of, like you said, the antitrust situation. If you look over the past 5 years, it's the same companies that keep coming in front of Congress, right? You see Facebook or Meta now. You see Apple and Google has come, but you don't see Microsoft, right? Which is in because they battled that in the early 2000s. But just the numbers on why they called it the company of the year. It's on pace, right? At one point this year, and we said it when Apple had pulled back a little bit, Microsoft became the wealthiest company in American history, right? So they were valued at over $2.5 trillion. Apple has come back. They're now the number one, but they're on pace to be a $3 trillion company in the next 6 months, like $3 trillion, which is ridiculous, right? This year, 2021, the stock has grown 45% In 2021, 45%, which is incredible. Their revenue is $176 billion year to year, right?
With a B.
With a B. That's a 20% increase year to year, 20% increase. So where's the revenue coming from? We talked about it, right? Azure, their cloud computing service, it's number 2 to Amazon, but it is generating almost on average about $16 billion a quarter, right? So like people are like, what's Azure? So it's like what Windows was, but it's become the cloud service for Windows and a multitude of other things. And obviously they have Teams, which is a service that a lot of companies use. I know we do. Every other week we're on a Microsoft Teams meeting. And then LinkedIn, right? People overlook LinkedIn, but that's a huge, especially if you're in business or if you're an entrepreneur. Like LinkedIn is a huge social media platform. All that's under its umbrella. It makes sense why it's the company of the year. You show me one that's doing numbers like that and can still grow. Like
they beheaded Zoom like me and Trap told you that they would after InvestFest. Zoom to the floor. Let it go. Apple, Microsoft.
You know what happens now? They're gonna cut Ian off.
Never fails.
Let's
go to Q&A. No, I'm joking.
Q&A. That's actually an inside joke. if you know, you know.
No, you know.
So, but I'm glad. Well, I'm actually tight that I didn't get a chance to try the HoloLens of Microsoft because 19 Keys had it with him in Miami, and he said he was going to let us try it out, and just running around. I didn't get a chance to try it, but I definitely wanted to do that. I am going to do that. But you said something that was very important just now. You said that Apple and Microsoft are the only 2 companies that you feel comfortable telling people the dollar cost average into. And it's funny you say that because my sister was asking me today about dollar cost averaging. And I was telling her my personal opinion is that I like the dollar cost average into ETFs, not really so much individual stocks, because it's a lot more risk, obviously, with the individual stocks, and it's just a variety of different reasons why I like to do the ETFs. So it's interesting that you said that those are the only 2 companies that you feel comfortable telling people the dollar cost average into. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, because the amount of money that Apple is producing and Microsoft are producing, they're top 2. I know people like to argue it and like to ask about Rivian and every other company on earth. Those are the 2 biggest players, biggest brands, biggest market share in their category, and they're making money hand over fist. In war, Chad had a great quote that he told me last week: it's either blood or money. In business, whoever has the most money can cause the most bloodshed in the market. So please be mindful. The person with the biggest war chest is going to win. Apple and Microsoft continue to innovate, and if you ever get a chance to check out that HoloLens, you'll probably be as crazy about Microsoft as I am. So incredible company. And look, it's a multi-trillion-dollar company still producing this kind of money and still
multi-trillion dollar.
We throw these numbers around like they're small. Like if Tim Cook gets mad at Elon, he will buy Tesla and crumble that shit up and throw it away. What CEO? Like I told you guys the same thing last year. Stop playing. Stop buying at the top 92% of the market. Same with Bitcoin. I thought it was decentralized and crypto was not tied to the stock market. When JP Morgan and Goldman and Citadel began buying all the assets, and now you see with this trial, Satoshi isn't even Asian. Oh, we're going to have a real talk about who don't know what. Come on, stop playing. Invest in a top 4 across the board. The Market Monday should be 4 minutes long. Apple, Microsoft, VOO, VTI. That's it. But you guys want to hear about everything else. And then you come up to me and be like, well, I'm in a 2-year call on Hertz. What should I do? Continue to die. That's what you do. Let me pull the bow and arrow back on you. Bow, let me go ahead and kill you. It's over with. Listen, the people who listen the most make the most money. The number one reason a lot of you have not hit the level of success that you wanted is because lack of planning and lack of execution. I'm going to be real with you. I'm trying to get canceled. Ally, I'll be here next week, though. And Dole will sponsor the show. Pineapple Juice Vibes. Execute, man. And if you're going to trade, shout out to those of you who got in a square and did a square call. because the ones you invest in long term, this is my loving voice. The ones you invest in long term should also be the ones that you trade. You'll be good. Those of you that have calls in Apple or Microsoft, you're not crying right now. Stop listening to anybody else but me. And go ask Charlamagne what I told him to invest in. The boy tell you what he invested in. Listen to Troy and Rashad. We good.
That's a bar, man. Don't let that go over your head.
Continue to die. Troy, let me ask you this.
Yeah. I was gonna say his bar though.
What's wrong with Ian? I thought he was meditating. Is Ian okay?
Like the companies that you invest in long term, you can trade, right? So like if I have Apple calls, I also have Apple stock. There's a reason why we're doing that, yo. That was a bar. Yeah, I didn't want that to go everybody's head. What's going
on? My sister asked me to ask you this. Explain stock options?
Stock options.
What's the difference between buying a stock option, actually buying a purchase?
An option, like an actual option,
like a stock option.
So an option is the liability, and the stock is the asset. Tuning the asset of liabilities.
Over liabilities. Shout out to Revolt.
So like what a company offers stock options? Is that what you're saying?
No, like we buy stock options.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm
you
like,
wait, you act like you don't know what
I'm like, yo, what you talking about? Which option are you talking about? Because some people have jobs where they offer options.
No,
like
not stock options. Stock options as far as calls and puts.
Calls and puts. Yeah. So it's really simple, man. The best way I can explain is if I asked you right now, right, if Apple is trading at $157 a share, in 3 years, do you think it could be $170 a share? Right? If you believe yes, right, then if you invested in an option, you will put a call on that, right? Because the appreciation of the value has gone up, right? The equity has gone up in price. If you don't think that Apple would go to $170 in that 2-year span, which would be the expiration date, and I'm saying 2 year because we go long term when we do our option calls. We don't like the short term because
there are no such thing as long term options. For the record, I want to be sensational tonight.
Well, not long term. Actually, you know what? Let's not use. Let's say 2 year. We shouldn't say long term because long term is two or forever. 2 or 3 years. So we go 2 to 3 year on our option, our expiration date, right? If you did the opposite and said that position would decline, right, in a company like Hertz or a company like GameStop, right, where you're saying like, all right, well, GameStop is $150 now. In 10 years, I can't see people going to the stores. Everything's going to be digital. If GameStop goes to 120, right, the decline of the asset would be a put. And so your call is trending upwards, puts trending downwards. Expiration date is the time that you have to make those positions. And then you have a strike price of what you're going to think. So that 170 that I just said, that would be your strike price on the call side. And if you did a put, that 120 would be your strike price on the put side. And so whether it trends up or trends down, you can make money. So when we say that people are going to make money, whether the market goes up or down, this is what we're saying, right? If it trends up on my call, I'll make money. However, if I made a call and that equity depreciates, I lose money. So it's very volatile. Trading has considerable risk. Please
and most of you should not do it. Please hold the equity or the asset for a long period of time and you're good. I'm tired of playing with y'all.
Because I was trying to
playing with me.
I was trying to explain to her, she wasn't sure. I put her in Apple stock, general stock, and I also put her in an Apple call a few months back. The Apple stock, she's up like 30%. The Apple call, she's up 88%. So she was trying to understand why the Apple call was so much higher than the Apple stock. And I was telling her that it's not just directly related to the stock increase.
Yeah. So inside of that there's a bid and an ask. And I always tell people, pay attention to those numbers. Yes, the value of the stock is at a certain price, but they have a bid and an ask of where you can get into those positions, those calls, or those puts. And so the bid, right? I always tell, like, if you go to a car dealership and they tell you the car costs $50,000 and you walk in and pay for it, that's the ask, right? You're paying the face value. The bid is the amount that you're saying that I'm going to pay for this position, right? So if it's $50,000, you're going to walk in and say, look, I only have $46,000. That's what I'm paying for it. And a lot of times people don't even realize that you could put limits on it. They'll just say, all right, I'm paying a sticker price. And so one of the things I always stress when I'm talking to the guys is like, look, we're never paying sticker price. We're going to be patient. We're going to be patient investors. Who says that? We're going to be patient investors. But it's true. We got to be patient investors. And if we make a limit and say like, this is where we're going to buy it for, we got to stick to that. Even if it doesn't happen that day.
Stop chasing
And just stick to your limit. And you will see what patience can do inside of just like something so small as the bid and the ask. It can change your percentage. It can change your gain, short term and long term.
There you
Shout out to my guy Tech. I was talking to him, this change manager, before we got on. He said everybody just wants to flip Tech to change manager.
Okay.
He was like everybody that he talks to in the music industry just wants to flip quick. And can I be real with y'all? I get so excited that y'all not disciplined. Y'all gonna make this so easy for me to take over. The more of you that are disciplined, all-time return, and this changed since Art Basel Saturday. All-time return for Apple is 160,000%. Any of you ever hit a trade for 20 or 30,000%? That's the difference. So the same way in which they get us to sell our grandma's home, we sell all assets too quick. We don't invest in anything but drama, gossip, or things that are depreciating liabilities. That is a coordinated plan. Because why wasn't anybody at scale telling us to invest in Bitcoin, Apple, Microsoft, Moderna, Tesla in 2010? There's a reason why that gap keeps getting wider, and during every recession with quantitative easing, those of us that are poor, grew up in poor environments, get pushed down lower on the totem pole. Now, with these robots having babies and being able to mutate and reproduce, and automation being at a faster scale than ever, they are pushing to make us a permanent underclass. If you don't know what that is, shout out to the good brother Claude Anderson. But the same way in which we don't care about Native American issues in this country, we will be reorganized and put into that category. But you guys want to play and ask me, hey, what about this one? The only way we can increase this gap is if we make these moves together. It's not just about us individually, it's us about as a culture and as a family buying things at one time. So it's dope that we're Art Basel and going all these places, but I don't see us in no boardrooms. You guys talk all this stuff behind the scenes. I want to keep our sponsors, but most of you are not even on the conference calls quarterly. You have to be in order to have a voice. Please stop looking to trade. And I said this on a stock club call. All y'all keep talking about generational wealth, but then all you want to talk about on here is options and trades. Why? Raise your hand if you think you can out trade me, and we can set it up. Call Swiss. I'll do the verses on that. The most money I ever made has been long-term investing. Boring ass. And if I still had all my coins, and I know some of you been hitting me, yo, the people from my own Gox are gonna get the money back. If I get 2 coins back, I'll be happy. Everything's not gonna come back. Then BitConnect happened to a lot of people, right? All the money is made in the long term, but they have branded it to you and told you that it wasn't sexy. Please stop deviating from the plan. They're literally robbing you of your future.